This is Matthew Head, and you're watching Woo TV.
All right, thank you, Matt, for joining
Yes,
us.
sir.
Let's talk about the dream. Early in your career, you worked on two documentary projects where the titles became analogous with the chapters of your life right now. The Start of Dreams and I'm a Dream Chaser. You were recently tapped by Oprah and Lionsgate to be the music producer for season two of Greenleaf. You have received awards and nominee recognition such as Best Soundtrack at the Motor City International, Stellar Award nominee, NAACP Image Award nominee, Outstanding Achievement Award for the Los Angeles Web Festival, and finally receiving your first Emmy for your composition for a documentary called Melissa's Story. If you could choose a title for the third chapter, what would it be, and what do you hope to call the final chapter?
Third chapter would be keep working. It's easy to chill out, and it's funny when you read all that stuff. I forgot about some of that stuff, and I do, and I try not to go back and read into my certain things because it naturally it will take you down to a level where, or put you up in a level where you think you're better than certain things, and I didn't want to do that. So those awards and those nominees are great. So my third chapter is what I'm telling myself now when I wake up in the morning, when I feel like I don't have to do some certain things, or is to keep working, because I was consistent on working. Where I am at in my career now is because of consistency. It wasn't because my music was the best music or it was better than someone else's. Or it was great, awesome. I believe me being consistent and being able to work and don't worry about the small stuff and just make it happen. So that's what I want to my third chapter be right now, is to work harder than I did before to get those accolades. 'Cause now that I do have the opportunity to do bigger things, now it's time for me to work harder.
And what would be the title of your final chapter after everything is said and done? Because, before we started the interview, we were talking about your gift. And, so what would you call the final chapter?
The end.
The end.
Yeah. I'm a testimony of following God's gifts. And that's really it. And I want my life to be that. I want when I pass and I want people to look at me and say, this guy was a Christian, and this guy was honest, this guy was talented, this guy was open, and he didn't follow his dreams followed him. And that's how I look at it, I said in my bio, I didn't pursue music pursued me. And when I say that that's really what happened. I wasn't looking to be this out of control music producer, or, I looked up to them. I loved the Quincy Jones and the Timberlands and the Dr. Dre's and the Pharrells. I look up to them. I love their music. I love what they do. But I was looking to just be a part of them. And the fact that I'm able to create and be able to do this for a living is nothing but a gift from God, and so a blessing from God. So I say the end because I think once I am gone, my legacy the God's gift will still be able to be pushed on to my children, to my children's children, and hopefully to my children's children's children. That's how I look at it.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. Let's talk about the very start of your music career. You were born in Marietta, Georgia. At 5 years old, you began playing the piano. We fast forward some years later, you attend Savannah State University on a football scholarship with the goal of becoming a teacher like your mother. After football practice, you could be found playing your keyboard, oscillating between football and music. This pivotal moment, not following your music into college, but instead opting for a football scholarship. What influenced your decision? Any regrets? And if you had to choose between football and teaching as a profession, what would you say would be your second best talent?
I play football because the city I come from, I'm from Marietta, Georgia, and we football town out in the suburbs of Atlanta. So playing football was at the time was a part of life. It was something that you did. My brother played football, cousins, uncles, all of them played for the same high school. The coach that was coached me coached for 20 years prior, and then coached my dad. You know, it was one of those good old boy Friday Night Light stories. And so playing football was just a part of life in my city. And all my friends played. So we played because we all loved each other. And we were a big family. And we still call each other family to this day, even though when we see each other. So football was more of a leisure activity.
Okay.
I was fast, had a little bit of sports athletic ability, and got a scholarship. And I was smart. And at the time, our football coach was very big on us going to school. He preached it from day one.
So education was
education was the reason why we played football, to get a higher education.
So it was a way to get your education.
That's what it was. It was one of those things where that's what we did. And so my class, my football team, I can tell you about 90% of us went to school.
Okay.
Somewhere.
That's a good success rate.
Yeah, somewhere for somebody. And Savannah State offered me a scholarship, and I went there. And when I got there, I didn't love it. It's something that I was like, this is not what...
Right. Because your calling...
Right. Was music. And at the end of the day, I didn't want to be an NFL football player. You know, I was 5'10", 5'11", 140 pounds. Not going to the NFL, you know. And I played football at home because it was fun. You know, my friends, my homeboy is playing football with me, so I'm going to play with him. And it wasn't a family, you know. It was a business in college, and this is not what I wanted to do. And so, you know, the music thing is something I've always done. I've always made music on my own. In high school, only a couple people knew I even made music. I had a close friend of mine that knew I made it every day, and he would give me feedback. But I mean, I was very private with it because it was something that I just did on my own. It was a spiritual, therapeutic thing that I'll go home and play on my keyboard or my little workstation in my room and make my own little music, and then I'll play it for a couple of days and I'll delete it and do something else.
Right.
And so I kept that routine going on in college. When I went to college, my dad allowed me to bring my workstation. He bought me a workstation every Christmas. Each Christmas, if I continue to stay in piano lessons, my parents would buy me a keyboard every Christmas. So that was like the thing to do. Like, all right, I'm almost playing these lessons, and you buy me a keyboard. So, and I stopped getting keyboards probably around like my freshman year. So at the time, I had like 9 keyboards surrounding my room. I had like a little mini studio in my room at the time. And so my dad allowed me to take one to my parents let me take one to school. And so in college, after football practice or when everybody's going to go do something else, I'll go to my room and make music. And my roommate at the time heard it and was like, dude, you make some good music. I'm like, all right, whatever. And he introduced me to a guy upstairs that cut hair. And you know, every college, every black college has that one guy that cuts hair. He's a DJ, he's a radio promoter, he raps, he sings, he does it all. He has tapes, everything you need. So he was that guy upstairs. His name was Paul. And Paul came down to my room, heard the music, and was like, oh my God, I got to introduce you to this other guy he's a rapper. He's a local rapper in Savannah. And so the local rapper came to me, came to my room, same day, all this happened all in one day. Heard the music and was like, I got to take you to studios. And he introduced me to my first official studio. And from then, when I walked in and saw how I saw others trying to do what I did, and mine was like, I felt like it was easy for me to do it. The bug bit me.
Bit you.
And that's what it was.
Wow. Wow. So just earlier we were talking about your final chapter, calling that the end. So in before we started this interview, we were talking about you being going to school to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So would you say that would be kind of your second best talent, something that, had it not been music,
right,
that teaching would have been something?
Yeah, I'm in love with kids. It's evident I'm in love with children. I mentor. I worked in school systems. I I'm the guy that does summer camps. I'm the guy that want to volunteer for certain things because I love kids.
Okay.
I grew up in a very strong community.
Okay.
Marietta has a tight knit community of neighbors raising children. We were all our classmates, our friends. We were all together, and so if we didn't have a daddy, somebody's daddy was there. You know, if you didn't have a mama, somebody's mama was there. You know what I'm saying? So it was no excuse.
Okay.
I grew up in a no excuse kind of city. And so I still take that mentality now, where there's no excuses. So I try to play the role as much as possible. And so teaching was the easiest way for me to get around kids and be around them and expose them to different things. So yeah, it's my passion. And I love it.
And so would you find, even as you continue in your career, that you would open up some sort of music clinic for kids, to kind of bring that?
Well, I'll open up. I wouldn't even say a music clinic. I'll open up a life clinic.
Okay.
Because music to me is not as it's an art. So
It's not just a product.
it's an art. It's
art.
like language. It's a skill.
And what's the saying? Art imitates life.
Yeah. So I'll open up a life. I want kids to find out their gifts in different ways because their gift. I don't like making music the end all be all. Music is what I do, but music doesn't describe who I am. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I want people to understand that your gifts, you have so many other talents around you that you're not even tapping into because you're so focused on what you think you should be doing.
Right.
And so that was my biggest issue. I was trying to be a teacher and be passionate about that, but I had a gift of music. Like, you're really good at this. All right, whatever. I'm going to still do this. You know what I'm saying? And coworkers and wife and family members saying you need to quit your job and pursue your dream. You know, pursue your gift of music. I'm like, hey, I'm just working.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that's how it's always been to me. And so if I had an opportunity to open up a clinic, it would be more of a life skill because I feel like a lot of our young adults do not have any social or life skills. And
They almost need to bring back home ec.
Yeah, home ec, and everything, you know, because
Yeah.
no one teaches kids about life,
Yeah.
about being social, and everything is ran through television and social media now. So it's like, you know, it's hard to find kids that have social skills or become friends with each other because they're friends on social media.
Right.
They don't talk to each other anymore. You know, I have a 4-year-old at home, and I've even experienced that even with him being on this earth for 4 years. Like, wow, he's already tapped in certain things that I don't need him to. He doesn't need to know this right now,
Right.
and he's
right.
4.
He's 4.
And it's like, so I don't want to. You know, there's no rec centers anymore. There's no, of course you got the Boys and Girls Club. When we walk into a Boys and Girls Club, all you see is computers. You know what I'm saying? There's no,
So we're just creating robots. Basically.
Yeah, we're creating zombies. I say a lot because these kids don't have, and if you notice, they think like zombies. They have no way of thinking of life or death. They don't really care. And the reason why they don't care is because we've shown them the world. Automatically, we've given them the world. We say, hey, this is what you are. You can see everything you want to. You can see drugs, you can see porn, you can see life and death all at one time. You can go visit China without going to China. That's a problem. I need my child to know where China's at and know what it looks like and want to go there.
Right.
I don't need my child to look at a woman at the age of, I need my child to know that he has to be a certain age to see that woman.
Right.
I need my child to know that there's other things besides just the internet. Go outside and play. So
Go outside and
life
play.
skill will be my thing. I'll want to open up a life skill and try to find out what a child's passionate about and what a child's gift is. Because I feel like the best way to find out a person's gift is others knowing what their gift is.
Because sometimes a child may not know what they're
Does not know.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to know that.
Yeah, or nurture that. bring
Nurture
that out.
that and bring it out of them, yes.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. Let's talk about your resume thus far on IMDb. Working on projects such as Girlfriends, Getaway 1 and 2, Raising Izzy, The Man in 3B, Wilmington on Fire, Digital Lives Matter, among others. Which movie, documentary, or short would you say was the most challenging, rewarding, and why?
The most rewarding to me, I don't have a most challenging one. I think they all had their own different challenges. Some of those movies, about television movies like Girlfriends Getaway 1 and 2, and had to be done in a short amount of time because it's TV. You know, it's not. It's just the way production schedules work, and so scoring those kind of films, you kind of
So
feel
the
like
turnaround is a lot
it's
quicker.
quicker. And so that's, I guess, the work of it all is challenging. Rewarding to me though, Wilmington on Fire was huge to me. Because that process came out of nothing, and I watched that process come from nothing. I watched the meeting director, excuse me, meeting director online and through mutual friends, and having an idea, literally having an idea. His name was Christopher Everett, but had literally an idea of telling a story of his hometown. And it was also a story that I didn't know of. It's a hidden figure story. One of those things where it's a story that it was one of the first riots in America, and Wilmington on Fire. It was basically really the city of Wilmington took all the black people out, and
Wow.
and it was one of the first ever happening in America that no one really tells. So I didn't know about it. So it was like I'm reading and watching and in the documentary. I was like, wow! And it took 3 or 4 years to make. So to watch that, it was very rewarding to see that concept now become a festival touring film that is very successful, and to be a part of that, just to never just getting the phone call to ask to do the music and to be a part of it was great, and just to make sure to get that feel. But it was one of the most rewarding projects I've done. And all of them are to me, but that one's the one that kind of made me feel like, okay, I can do this every day.
Okay.
I love it. It became the more of, I think I like the gift that has been given. So let me focus on it a little bit more.
Right. Right. Wow. According to Huffington Post article, you stated your favorite project to work on so far is Greenleaf, and you met Oprah. Um, how did that opportunity come about with the Oprah Winfrey Network, and are there future opportunities with her and her network?
Yeah, Greenleaf is amazing because you're working with some of the best in the industry, from Clement Virgo to Keith David. Clement Virgo is the one that's executive producer and director. Keith David that plays the bishop. Deborah Joy Winans, her historic, with her family history, and of course Oprah Winfrey. And Lionsgate is you're working with amazing people. For them to call me to ask me to do it was like, okay, all right.
Wow.
The opportunity came through just me networking. I like to say word of mouth. I don't
So
have
they discovered your work.
yeah, I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager.
Wow, that's
It's
good. That
literally-
says a lot.
Yeah, it literally came from. I told some kids this story. It came from an email. I'll never forget. I was sitting at home working on another short film or a film for someone, and I have my setup at home, and an email popped up from Lionsgate Television. I was okay. Click on it, and read it. I said, all right, back in my mind, he's like,
Right.
all right, whatever, okay, cool. Everybody wants, all right, And so I responded, and the coordinator, Amanda Jones, responded back. And then it went from there. And it was like a whirlwind. It just happened fast.
Wow.
And I was just saying yes, yes.
Wow.
And so that's where it came. And so from there, and I met Oprah briefly. It wasn't one of those sit-down meetings. It was one of those, hey, Oprah, how you doing? My name is Matthew Head.
In
All right, have a good day."
passing? Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
but she did speak to me and asked me, told me she was excited about what I was going to do with the music. And so the pressure was on then. But it's been great.
But has she provided you feedback on your work so
Yes,
far?
yes. She's hands-on with the show.
Okay.
Very hands-on. She's between her, Clement, and a couple other Craig Wright, the head writer.
Okay.
Is very hands-on, and so whatever we do, whatever I submit or whatever I give them, they're listening and they're telling me yes. As a matter of fact, they couldn't find after episode 1, they were looking for a theme, not theme, but a credit music, and they couldn't find one they liked. And so they called and said, hey, we need a song, and we need it by tomorrow. It was on it was a Friday. I'm sorry, it was Friday. They needed it by Monday. And I said, okay. And so I called up some people that a writer and a beautiful singer named Casey Wallace, brought her in and said, let's just work. And we put our heads down, and she came up with this beautiful melody, and we did it all in one day and sent it to Oprah, and she said, yeah, that's the one. So it was one of those things
Wow.
where
Well, but I would call that magic. I would call that um, where you're able to bring all those different elements of writer or a someone to create the melody and create this wonderful
that's to me true production.
yeah.
My favorite producer of all time is Quincy Jones.
Mm.
I studied his music. I studied his resume, his biography. Favorite album of all time is Thriller. And close behind that is Off the Wall.
Right.
But just to know how they put things together and how they everyone plays a part, and that's different to me from other producers. A lot of producers want to just, it's all about me. This is what I'm going to do. Shut up and sit down. I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm completely opposite. I'm the
Right.
guy that if you play guitar, come play guitar. If you play keys, come play keys.
Right.
If you play drums, come play drums. If you're a singer, come sing. You a melody, come let's go. And this room has had 20 people at one time in here. 5 people at one time because
Wow.
I like everybody input because
Right.
at the end of the day it's music.
Right.
My job as a producer is just to coach it,
Right.
just to see it through. I don't consider myself as the end all be all. Just see it through. Not ask everybody's opinion. We like that, right? And it's like, yeah, we like it. Let's go.
Do you feel like it's been a preparation meets opportunity? Because sometimes people just simply rely on their gift, but that doesn't always translate into opportunity. What do you I'm sure are you practicing daily? Are you coming up with different
Yeah.
scores or different
Everything
just
has a purpose, and I tell people all. I don't. One thing that I don't do. I don't make music to make music. Everything I make, it has a purpose to me. I want it to be purposeful. So when I am in the studio or at home working on my own personal music, it's one of those things where I want it to be purposeful. I want it to be for something. So I always try to pattern that. So when I work with others, I make them understand that too. You're here for a reason. You're not here just to kick it.
right.
You're not here to play. You're here for a reason. I trust you, and I need you to take ownership of what you're about to do.
Right.
So when they hear the songs, they know that I was a part of that. I helped do that. I was into that record. I put that together, and I'm very proud of them saying that. And so it is preparation meets opportunity because the opportunity will come. And I tell all other producers I work with because that's funny. When we were making music in here, most musicians they want to be producers. They all want to pursue their life of being a producer. There was very few musicians that wanted to make, I'm a keyboard player. All of them had their own, well, I want to make music too as a
Right.
producer. So the one thing that I've noticed that what I'll try to tell them is, you're going to make it as a music producer. You got to be prepared to produce the music. So I've always, like I said, studied myself, studied the Quincy Jones, and I studied the Pharrells, the Timberlands. I try to pattern my career after what they did is understanding what true production is. It is not just making the beat or making the music. It's literally knowing the right songwriter and knowing the right musicians and knowing the right studio and finding the right engineer to put it all together. I don't want to play nothing. I tell you all the time, I don't want to touch a keyboard.
Oh, goodness. Thanks for watching this video. We hope you have found this to be engaging and thought-provoking. Please hit like and subscribe for updates. You'll find more videos like this on the thumbnail links on your screen.